In last class, we learned about inverse of a function and we did around 6 problems based on inverse of a function, and we know that from the concept of that we will get one 5-mark question in final examination. In this exercise number 1.3, another 5 problems are remaining. Those problems we will complete in this class. You observe this question number 10. In this class, whatever we will turn, they will be little confusing. In case if you do not know the definition of inverse of a function, there is a chance definitely you will confuse. Okay. However, I will recall the things whatever the points are necessary. Please try to understand this. What they given? F from x to y be an invertible function. They mention that f from x to y is an invertible function. Show that f has unique inverse. Unique inverse means only one. Unique means only one. We need to show that f has unique inverse. That means only one inverse exists for f. First, I'll write the given information. What is the given information? They given that f from x to y is invertible function. As I need to show that f has only one inverse, I'll go with here contradiction method. In the beginning only what I'll do, you see, I taken g1, g2 are two different inverses of f. I taken like this. I taken there exist two inverses for f. But actually what I need to show? I need to show that this function has unique inverse. So as I taken g1, g2 are two different inverses of f. At the end I'll show that g1 equal to g2. That means they are not different, they are same. Therefore f has unique inverse. I'll get this point. I hope you are understanding. Okay. What they given? They given that f from x to y is invertible function. That means inverse of this function exists. As I taken g1 is inverse of f. From the definition of inverse of a function, see here, if g1 is inverse of f is from x to y, its inverse will be from y to x. You please try to understand this point. As f is from x to y, its inverse will be from y to x. As g1 is inverse of the function f, I can write this statement. What is that? g1 from y to x is inverse of f. Then f circle g1 of y equal to iy. Iy is nothing but y as per the definition of identity function. Here I can write one more thing also. If g1 is inverse of the function, I can write g1 circle f equal to ix also, but that is not necessary while proving g1 equal to g2. So that's why what is needed, that only I written. See, whatever I written here, I got this from the definition of inverse of a function. If g1 is inverse of f, then I can write this statement. I hope you understand this. Similarly, if g2 is also inverse of f, as I taken g1, g2 are the two inverses of f. If g2 is inverse of f, what I can write? If g2 is inverse of f, see, if g2 is inverse of f, then what I can write? I can write f circle g2 of y is iy. What is iy? As I is identity function, iy is y. So whatever this step I got, this is from the definition of inverse of a function. If g2 is inverse of f, I can write like this. Here I can write one more thing also. g2 circle f equal to I of x, which is same as x. But to prove g1 equal to g2, that is not necessary. That's why I written only this much. Okay. You observe this equation 1 and equation 2. Equation 1 here y is there. Equation 2 also here y is there. As this is y, I can equate these two. Please try to understand. Because I want to prove that g1 equal to g2. g1, g2 are not different, they are same. So from 1 and 2, here this is both are y, so I can equate these two. So what I'll write here, f circle g1 of y equal to f circle g2 of y. I hope you are understanding. From the definition of composite function, this circle is there. The circle can be replaced with brackets. See, f circle g1 of y can be written as f of g1 of y, f of g2 of y. From this, I hope you understand how we got this step. Right? Just in place of circle, I just written the bracket. Now, after getting this step, what is f? In the question only they given that f is invertible function. If f is invertible function, then it is 1 function, onto function. If it is 1 function, then we know that f of x1 equal to f of x2 implies x1 equal to x2. So here, as f is invertible function, f is 1, right? If f is 1, you suppose this as x1, this as x2. This looks like f of x1 equal to f of x2. F of x1 equal to f of x2 implies x1 equal to x2. Try to understand from this how we got this step. We know that f is 1. If f is 1, f of x1 equal to f of x2 implies x1 equal to x2. You imagine these things as x1, x2. Then it looks like f of x1 equal to f of x2. As f is 1 function, from this I can write g of y1 equal to g1 of y equal to g1 of 2. So here from this g1 equal to g2 I can write. So what happened here, in the beginning I started with g1, g2 are two inverses, but what I got here, I got that g1, g2 are not different, they are same. So I can say that f has unique inverse. In this question they are asking to show that f has unique inverse, hence I proved that it has unique inverse. I hope you understand this. Now we will move to next question. Consider f from 1, 2, 3 to ABC. They given this information. F is from 1, 2, 3 to ABC. And they given this information also. F of 1 is A, F of 2 is B, F of 3 is C. They are asking find F inverse and show that F inverse whole inverse is F. Okay. Actually this is very easy, but you may confuse a little bit if you do not know the concept of inverse of a function. Right, first I'll write the given information. See, f is from 1, 2, 3 to ABC. They given this I written, and you see here they given f of 1 is A, f of 2 is B, f of 3 is C. That also I written here. Okay, we need to find its inverse. Okay, this is the given information, right? Here f of 1 is A, f of 2 is B, f of 3 is C is given. Now from this I can write f like this. See, f of 1 is A, 1 is related to A. F of 2 equal to B is given, that means 2 is related to B. F of 3 is given C, so I can write 3 is related to C. So I'll go with this diagram, because what we need to show here, find its inverse. Find its inverse means first we need to check its inverse exists or not. So from this I written function like this. Now I am going with this diagram form. See here f from where to where, 1, 2, 3 to ABC na, 1, 2, 3 to ABC na. See here I written 1, 2, 3, here I written ABC. And as they given f of 1 equal to A, image of 1 is A, image of 2 is B, image of 3 is C. Now you observe this diagram, it is 1 function. Different elements in first set have different images in its second set. Different elements in domain have different images in codomain. Yes, it is 1 function. By seeing the diagram we can say this is 1 function. Now it is onto function. For every element in codomain set there exists at least one pre-image in domain set. Yes, for every element in codomain there exists at least one pre-image in domain set. Therefore this is onto also. So f is both 1 and onto. Okay. As both 1 and onto, I can say that this function is invertible. I hope you are understanding. When we say the function is invertible, in last class we discussed all these things. When it is both 1 and onto, then we say that function is invertible. Okay, here what they are saying, find f inverse. As you came to know that f is invertible, inverse exists. See here, f is defined like this. Please try to understand. F is defined like this na. F is defined like this, and you came to know that for this function inverse exists. By seeing these two things you can write its inverse. Try to understand. This is the given information. This and this is the given information. I came to know that this is 1 onto, that means it is invertible. As f is invertible, by these two information I can write f inverse like this. See, f inverse is from ABC to 1, 2, 3. Look here. Here 1, 2, 3 to ABC na. F inverse is from ABC to 1, 2, 3. ABC to 1, 2, 3. And f inverse also I can write, because I know f is invertible and I know f is like this. F is 1, A, 2, B, 3, C. From this I can write f inverse. Look here please. F inverse. Please observe this part and this part. This part you observe. Here 1 comma a is there. Here a comma 1 is there. Here 2 comma b is there. Here b comma 2 is there. Here 3 comma c is there. Here c comma 3 is there. I hope you are understanding. So I written f inverse. What they are asking in the question? They are asking to find f inverse now. See here. Find f inverse. So I got f inverse here. I hope you understand this. I hope you understand this. Right. Further, what they are asking? They are asking to show that f inverse whole inverse is f. Okay. F inverse whole inverse is f. Here you see this part. This part. You observe this f inverse. You observe this f inverse. Is it is bisective or not? Clearly it is bisective. You go with this method only again. You go with this method only again. This is bisective. So for this function inverse exists. So by seeing this two, I can write this inverse. Please try to understand. So for this function inverse is from 1 to 3 to ABC. 1 to 3 to ABC. And what about its inverse? This function inverse. Please try to understand. As you know f inverse and its inverse exists. Its inverse exists. Its inverse is what? Please try to understand. Its inverse is a comma 1 is there in f inverse. Its inverse will be 1 comma a. This is b comma 2 na. Its inverse will be 2 comma b. Here c comma 3 is there na. Its inverse will be 3 comma c. Here I got f inverse whole inverse. But the point is, what is this? Come to the beginning. What is this? 1 comma a, 2 comma b, 3 comma c. What is this? It is its inverse. What is this? 1 comma a, 2 comma b, 3 comma c. It is f. Please try to understand. It is f. This is same as f. So what I am trying to say here, f inverse whole inverse is f we got. I hope you understand this. Right? Now next question, question number 12. What they are saying, f from x to y be an invertible function. Show that f inverse of f is f. No. Try to understand the question clearly. Show that inverse of f inverse is f. Inverse of f inverse. See here. Inverse of f inverse is f. That means we need to show that f inverse whole inverse is f. What they given? F from x to y is invertible function. That much only they given. We need to show that f inverse whole inverse is f. This problem, earlier problem, 11th problem, both are same only. See, in this also we are showing f inverse whole inverse equal to f. But here they mention f is from where to where, how the function is defined, all the information is given. But here that information is not given. They are just saying f is invertible function. You show that f inverse whole inverse is f. Okay. First thing I written given information, f from x to y be an invertible function. F from x to y is an invertible function means inverse exists now. So I am taking g is the inverse of f. Let g is the inverse of f. You know that f is from x to y means its inverse is from y to x. Let g is the inverse of f. From the definition of inverse of a function, if g is inverse of f, then I can write f circle g of y equal to y and g circle f of x equal to x. You see the definition of inverse of a function, then you will come to know all these things. Okay, if g is inverse of f, f circle g of y is y and g circle f of x equal to x. Okay, now you observe this carefully. When you got these two things, from this we can say that g is inverse of f. In the same way, I can say that f is inverse of g also. They are inverse to each other. When you are able to prove that f circle g equal to g circle f equal to I, g is inverse of f and f is inverse of g. This is a little concept oriented. If you know the definition of inverse, then you can understand this easily. Okay, as I got this step, from this I can write f inverse equal to g and g inverse equal to f. Okay, now I'll take this one. See, g inverse equal to f. I'll take this one. I written the same thing, g inverse equal to f. I written g inverse equal to f. Okay, in this you observe this g. You observe this g. What is g? Here what is g? G is f inverse. Na? In this statement, in place of g, I'll write f inverse. So see here, in place of g, I written f inverse. Please observe. In place of g, I written f inverse. So f inverse whole inverse is f. What they are asking, we got it. I hope you are understanding. In this, another two problems are there. I want you to go through those two problems. In next class, I'll start about binary operations.